Hello friends, a lot of you have requested me to share my portfolio sheet with you, which I use to track and update every week for myself. Although I do it in Microsoft Excel, but to share this with all of you, I recreated the sheet in Google Spreadsheet. You may wish to update the sheet with your investments at your own chosen frequency, be it weekly, monthly, or quarterly. Do it at least once a quarter. This sheet, though automated a lot, still needs some manual work to be done. You may find a lot of third party apps helping you to do this, but I prefer privacy. You may download the sheet to yourself, and yes, only Google will know about this, but then they already know a lot about your online investments as you keep getting emails. Though I have tried to keep the sheet simple, a prior experience in using Excel or spreadsheet is important. So follow me while I explain how to use this sheet, and then you may customize it for yourself. So let us start looking at the sheet. So this is a dummy portfolio which I just created with kind of 7 mutual fund schemes: Axis Mid Cap, Edelweiss US Tech, HDFC Liquid, Kotak Small Cap, Mirai Tech Saver, Parag Parik Flexi Cap, and UDI Nifty 50 Index. Now if you see that I have tried to cover a lot of segments, so equities is there and fixed income, that is liquid fund, is there. And even in equities you have mid cap, you have small cap, flexi cap, you have ELSF, and then you have international equities, even index fund as well. But the working for all of them will be more or less simple. So you don't need to worry about kind of different segments. So I'll run you through different sheets. What you need to do is, step one, just look at what all mutual fund schemes you are holding, you are invested into currently. It may be a lump sum investment which you are currently holding, or it may also be the SIPs you are currently investing into. The schemes which you have already redeemed may not be a part of this, because anyways that's not part of your net worth. You may already have redeemed, the cash might have come into your account, and kind of we can have that as a separate entity over here in cash. Having said that, these are the 7 just dummy ones, but you might be holding some other names. So for the simplicity of explaining this, let's assume that you have at least 6 of them, and you don't have US Edelweiss Tech. So we need to just remove it, add another, and then we'll add another one to kind of show how to update the sheet, how to delete, edit, everything. So let's first look at Edelweiss US Tech and see what this sheet kind of looks like. So if you see that in column B1, I have mentioned something like MUTF underscore in, and then there's a ticker for that, this fund, US Edelweiss Tech Fund. And then there are things like date invested, whether it is a direct investment or regular direct mutual fund or a regular mutual fund, the sum invested, which is very important, of course. Then we have NAV, we have units purchased, folio number. Folio number sometimes becomes very important for you to keep record of kind of your funds. So whenever you need them, you can just go back to the website if it's a direct mode, and you can kind of figure out different folios for them, and whether it's a tax saver or not. Column G, H, and even C are optional, but column B, D, E, and F are obviously compulsory. But I would request, if you don't want to use any of the columns, just don't fill it, leave it blank, but don't delete anything, because then the sheet's orientation and how it is being structured will go out of the toss. Now this is very important to put in the dates. Now assume that kind of this Edelweiss US Tech Fund I've been investing historically, and in Google Spreadsheet the date convention is always month, day, and then year. So just keep this in mind. If you type 15/1/2021, it will give you an error. So 1/15/2021 was the first investment. Probably this dummy portfolio is made of 5,000. So whenever you are making an investment, it's an outflow from your account. So it has to be in negative. And NAV is a hard coded number. What you can do is you can go to these websites wherever you have investments into, even if you have from Grow or kind of Zero the Coin or any other website, PhonePe. You will get the transaction history, and you will get all the NAVs on that particular date you have made the investment into. You just need to one time manually type it over here. This unit purchase will be automatically calculated depending upon kind of row, column D and E, sorry, and then you can subsequently put in for all of them. So once this is done, so this will be all hard coded value. So this would be pretty interesting, pretty good. And let's assume that you have been continuously updating this, and then obviously this So if you just look at this portfolio, this person has been investing 5,000 rupees in this fund for almost every 15th of the month. Now sometimes it is showing 16 or 18. It might be because there might be a holiday on 15th. So probably there was a holiday on 15th November, 16, 17 was a holiday again. So probably we can put in, let's assume that on 18th, this next installment went. You just need to type in over here and just copy this, paste this over here. And now I don't know what the latest NAV it was put into. I'm just putting in a random number over here, 25 point, let's say 34. That is it. You just need to do it, nothing else. Whenever you have a new SIP, you just input only this much once your sheet is ready, and your portfolio will be updated. So it's a very, very, very less time consuming thing you will be doing. Now this is all hard coded. Now you might wonder, yeah, I will have to kind of get I have 10 schemes, and just typing in like 50 rows and 100 rows is a very, very kind of time consuming thing. So don't worry. In Access Midcap tab, I have kept the formula also open, which picks up the date. So date, of course, you need to put in if you need to calculate the right XIRRs and everything. But NAV, you can pull it from Google Finance. But one thing you need to keep in mind is to have the right ticker of that fund over here. Now, how to find that? Let's assume that you are invested into Kotak Emerging Equity Fund. So what I'll do is I'll go to Google Finance and I will try to find, let's say, Kotak Emerging Equity Scheme Direct. And you can see that this is the ticker over here, right? Now let's set up our sheet for one extra fund. What you can do is, let's not delete anything as of now. I'll delete one later for an easy reference. But now let's assume that you need to kind of have Kotak Emerging Equities as well. You can see just HDFC liquid fund is a lump sum investment of one time. It is easy to duplicate, and there will be another duplicate sheet which will be open next to HDFC liquid before Kotak small cap. The reason I did over here also, one was that I need to keep this in alphabetical order, although it is not very important. Now one thing you need to keep in mind is to rename it properly. Now this name can be anything. I mean, you spelling mistakes are also fine over here, but no spelling mistake is fine over in the ticker, of course. So now what we'll do is that we'll have to replace this by this. So just keep in mind, there should be no space after colon and the new name. So now this is it. So this is updated. Whether this is updated or not, we'll have to check. Now let's assume that we invested in Kotak Emerging Equity Fund right from on every first of the month from 2024. So you'll just need to do 1/1/2024, right? And since this is hard coded, what we'll have to do is we'll have to either hard code, or we'll have to just copy kind of this formula from Access sheet and just paste it over here, and it will pick up this ticker, and then it updated the NAV accordingly, right? Now 1st of January the NAV was 114.5. Let's assume that this person was investing 10,000 in this Kotak Emerging Equity right from this month start. Then this is this is February 1st 2024, and then you can probably look to drag this till November, because till only November month is completed till now. Now when you just copy paste this stuff over here, you will notice that some places it will come as NA. That means it might be a Saturday or Sunday on those particular days. 1st May, we all know that it's a May Day, it's a Labor Day, so it's a chutti. So just change your date, because see, this you are not changing it by yourself, it's just a shortcut. You are going to check your transaction history, and you will notice that anyways the investment has gone through on 2nd of May, because 1st May was chutti. Now see, 2nd May the value it picked and it updated. Again in June the same case might be there, just update it to 2nd. 2nd was also chutti holiday, so 3rd, yes, 3rd it picked, and this is again so again I'm just repeating, it's not a guesswork. It's basically, if you type in hard code it by typing it manually, you will anyways write the right dates. right? It's again 2nd November was a holiday. Maybe on 3rd November it was fine. 3rd November was also a holiday. I don't know why, but 4th November should be okay. Okay, so this extra sheet we created, extra scheme we created, and similarly you can see that in all the schemes, kind of this thing is there. Now I want to bring your attention to one very very important thing. If you look into any sheet which I had already created, let's go to Axis Midcap and see that you will see that kind of you keep on appending your new entries one by one over here. But if you go to this bottom of the sheet in row number 199 and 200, you'll notice that there are already kind of some calculations being done over here. Now this is where the final kind of XIRR is being calculated. This is XIRR. This 24.27 is the XIRR. This is actually picking up today's date. I mean the date when the sheet is updated. This is picking up the value which is F200 into G200, which is nothing but these two numbers. Now this is the NAV, latest NAV, which comes from portfolio tab, or you can also update it over here, one and the same thing, but I prefer to update all the NAVs in the portfolio tab. I'll come to that later. And these are your number of units. So these are your number of units purchased. So units purchased into current NAV gives you the total portfolio value, and this 108000 is your total investment. See, this does not take into account this thing. It only takes into account D3 to D198. So that's your input, and this is your the investment, and this is your current value. And hence, because we are also mentioning the right dates over here, you can calculate the XIRR of your fund rather than a normal CAGR, which is wrong in this place. Now tomorrow, if you want to kind of edit the sheet, and if you want to delete something, just simply delete like this, right? If you delete the entire row, what happens is that the row shifts up, and this formula comes in row number 198 and 199. This will also shift one step up, which we don't want to, right? You will have to keep in mind that you will have to keep this in row number 199 and 200 only. In case you accidentally delete something, let's say this row got deleted, right, and this goes up above, your portfolio will kind of go out of the toss. See, it suddenly became 0 over here. So what you need to do is you need to insert one row above. It again came back in 199 and 200, and you are all set. In case you fill up this space that you have been using SIP for a long time, and kind of it's been more than 200 instances, then you need to add few rows. Just add 10 rows, 20 rows, 40, 50 rows, but do it in all the sheets. If you only do it in one sheet, it will again go out of the park. And if you are if you know Excel well, you'll figure out why I am saying so. Anyway, so you just saw that. So now let's go to the portfolio tab, and we'll have to add Kotak emerging equity over here in this sheet. Let's assume we add it alphabetical order, and you just insert cell. Don't insert one row above, because it will insert the entire, even on the right side, the table which you are seeing from column M onwards, it will insert there as well. We don't want that. So you just insert cells over here and insert cells and shift down. Now here what you need to do is you need to type the exact name, what your sheet name you have kept, Kotak emerging equity, and you link this sheet to the actual sheet over here, so that kind of you can just hyperlink it and you go to the sheet. But it's again it's for convenience. You just don't need to compulsorily do that in order to make the sheet. Now very interesting point comes in. The sheet is automated in such a manner that you just copy all these things till column C to H, and just paste it over here. You will see magic that everything is updated over here except num. Now what's the story behind num? So this is XIRR. This you need to kind of get it from that sheet, but that sheet is currently not updating your latest NAV, because we just inserted the sheet, and the NAV is over here is in column E8, cell E8. Now if you go to this sheet and just observe this number, this is still taking E7, which is as same as HDFC Liquid's E7, because we just created a duplicate. If you remember, you just need to go over here and change it to 8. Alternatively, you can also do a normal Google Finance stuff over here, and just paste this sticker. It will also update accordingly, but it's either way. I mean, do it in all sheets, or do it just link everything to one sheet, which is your portfolio E8. Now it is linked to portfolio E8. Once I do that, it automatically flows in, and your real XIRR, right XIRR, is calculated. These three columns, these three kind of columns give you a little more granular details into when you are doing the portfolio allocation, set allocation, or kind of AMC wise how much weightage each AMC is having. So just mention Kotak here. This you have to do manually, equity, and since this is mid cap, you can mention mid cap over here. Now this sheet again got updated, and your portfolio net worth currently is this much, but it also includes a lot more other things. Now I will go to direct stocks a little later towards the end, because that's the most exciting part and it's one of the most asked feature. But first let me explain you what this table is, the table at the right side. Now if you look at it, I have kind of subdivided all these things into different sub segments or subtypes. Now this is liquid fund, because I've in subtype I've anyways taken all those things. One is liquid, large cap, mid cap, small cap, flexi cap, value fund, international, gold, digital, gold, physical, silver, EPF, cash, vested ESOPs, real estate. I can think of these many, but there are much more. Cryptocurrencies are there. There can be post office savings, or there can be Sukanya Samriddhi, or there can be kind of you might have invested something into a PMS, or you might have something invested into maybe kind of an unlisted company. So all these can come as a different row. You just need to add row over here, doing this and doing this, kind of insert cells over here. Now what I've done is that I've tried to pull whatever it is in the left, this was a column, the table, and just you need to kind of automatically it will get updated if you are updating this properly. Now all these are invested values, all these is current values. Weightages I have not calculated. You can calculate how much weightage this is of your total holdings. Just remember to press F4 and then you can kind of drag it down till the end. Now this is where your portfolio allocation can look like. These are returns. Basically this is value based returns, not percentage based. Because obviously it's not a normal XIRR kind of a thing. And now what I have preferred, this can be done in a lot of different ways. You can create different columns for the subtotals of debt, subtotals of equity, but I just prefer doing it in kind of across the columns. That's your wish. So for debt I manually kind of do this and equal to current this liquid. And I know that large cap, mid cap, small cap, flexi cap, all these are equity, so I've put in equity side. These I have put it in the alternate side. Gold, digital can be either SGBs or ETFs or the gold funds. I've given a column for real estate also, because a lot of you guys might be holding real estate. Real estate row is given here. If you want to just know that your real estate, you have 1 crore worth of real estate, just type in over here and accordingly just mention 1 crore over here as well. So it will take it accordingly. So for now I'm just removing it because it distorts a lot of values, but you have understood how the sheet is created, right? And once this is in place, what you know is that you have a total investment value of this much, total current value of your net worth is this much, returns is this, which is obviously nothing but column P minus column O. And across debt, equity, alternate, and alternate is nothing but you can call it commodity as well, because real estate will also come into alternative. And you have the weightages. 16% is debt, 67 is equity, 16 is commodity, and then real estate is 0. This table gives us, sweet little cute table gives us across AMCs how much weightage is there. So if you see that something like PPFAS is 31%, it is alarming, because generally kind of I tend to tell people that don't put more than 25% weight in one AMC. So AMC risk is always something that you are running. And now let's come to one thing, which is this HDFC small cap I wanted to show. Now initially, if you remember, I told you that kind of I generally don't want to put my funds which I have redeemed over here, but if you want to keep a record of whatever you have invested into in the past and redeemed, this can have a very kind of good information. Many times what will happen is, let's say Kotak Emerging Equity, you think it's not giving good returns and you want to just stop it and redeemed it. This Kotak Emerging Equity, just cut this row from here and just bring it over here in the gray, so that it kind of it goes out of that white area. Because if you see this is only calculating till direct stocks. This is only calculating till this one. This gray area is not calculating. So how do I do this? If I go to HDFC small cap, I tend to kind of hide the sheet which I have already redeemed, so that it does not clutter my different sheets. But just to show you, I'll unhide this and I'll show you it's entirely same sheet. The reason probably kind of might have redeemed this because I was investing this in the regular fund, but I don't want to invest in a regular fund anymore. So on 31st March 2023, I tried to, kind of redeem. Now, if you remember, all these is hard coded. My 7,500 monthly investment he is doing. NAV has come from formula, let's say in this, and then unit purchase was getting calculated from column D and E. But for final, what we'll do is that we'll calculate how much units he had, right? Rather than this getting calculated, you just make it. You have already, this person has accumulated 2523.38 units. Just make it a negative of this sum is negative because obviously it's being redeemed. NAV comes from the real prices, and this can be calculated as a negative of this and this. This is positive value because obviously it's an inflow into your account. So once you do this, this gets closed. Basically, how much money this guy made can be kind of seen from here. He made 20,972 with an 11.92% CA percent XIRR. Current units he is holding is 0. Now we can obviously hide this or not hide this, it's your wish, but this comes over here. All these current investment total value will be 0, latest NAV will be 0, units are 0 anyways, but this value is what, negative 2972. This means he has made this much of profit. So you can get all the profits you have redeemed, all the funds which you have redeemed, you can get the profit over. If this is a positive value, that means you have made a loss for this particular fund. So I hope your mutual funds is pretty clear. If you have a good Excel idea, you can kind of figure out by looking at the formula by yourself. Obviously this is a view only sheet, and you need to download it, and then you can start working on it. Now let's go to direct stocks. Now, direct stocks is pretty interesting because a lot of you folks have asked for direct stocks ka kaise karna hai, how to do it for direct stocks. Now, if you see this table, ignore this table as of now, sorry, first table as of now, just pay attention to column O2V. What you need to do over here is, whenever you are buying a stock, you need to make an entry over here. Sometimes you might be doing a lot of intraday or kind of BTST trades, and it becomes so overwhelming that you can't keep updating about everything. So I would rather say don't update. I mean, it's your wish. If you're making a lot of profits over here or a lot of losses, if it's huge in magnitude, you might want to kind of input it somewhere in, like in the portfolio sheet, just put it in a cash or something, because basically the objective, the idea is to get to the final your net worth value. I mean, if few like 0.01% might not make a difference, chota mota sa, then it should be okay. But if it's a little positional trade, swing trades or long term trades, I think this should be a good point to start it. Now, how to use this? Let's say these are all historical kind of shares you might have bought, sold, and etc., and suddenly you today bought, let's say, ICICI Lombard. Now ICICI Lombard or ICICI General Insurance, what you can do is, ideally you should put it in alphabetical order. See, all these stocks I've shown is alphabetical order, but you may put it anywhere else, it's okay. But alphabetical order if you put, obviously it's going to be helpful for your understanding. Let's put it over here, insert cell and shift down, and I will say that I bought ICICI Lombard on, let's assume 18th of April, 18th of November 2024, and I bought 10 stocks of ICICI Lombard. Now this you need to enter at what price you are entering. See, this is price. You need to update these 4 columns. How many stocks, at what price, what is the purchase date, and what is the stock name, of course. For the remaining thing, STUV, it will be calculated on, because these are all formula driven. Now you know the price, right? You may include the brokerage, you may not include the brokerage, but whatever price you might have bought this stock is, just put it over here. So what we want to know is, let's say ICICI Lombard, and you obviously need that ticker also, ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company. Ticker we can just simply say, look at it as ICICI GI, and 1831. Let's assume it was what? Let's assume it was 1810. I don't know, it might be something else. See, any stock you are buying should be positive, but if you are selling, should be in negative. And just copy these 4, formula will be copied, and it will show you that this is your investment. And even I have just kept a column for which fiscal year it was, because for taxation purposes sometimes it becomes very important. You just select fiscal year 2024, 25, whatever, 23 whenever you want to see the returns for that particular fiscal year for taxation, and then you can have all the details. Now if you see this is a summary sheet. What you need to do is, obviously this will lot of times, kind of some like for Adani Greens, if you can see, someone bought 100 shares on 24th Feb and then sold 50 shares on 27th and remaining 50 on 28th. So there are multiple entries. Similarly for HDFC Bank, this person is buying HDFC Bank 2 shares, 1 share, 2 share every other day. 17th ko bhi liya, 18th, 20th, 27th July, 31st March, blah blah. So there will be multiple entries, but when you're summing up all of these, there will be a single row for all the stocks. Now what we just did was, we just added ICICI Lombard. Again, alphabetically order you can go, and you can insert cells, shift down. Don't do full insert as I already told, because it will disturb the right side as well. And keep the name same what you have kept in column O, ICICI Lombard. Ticker you need to add again, ICICI GI. Just keep in mind there is no space after the colon in the name. This you have to manually enter. It's a large cap, it's a BFSI company. Again, it will help you to kind of give the proper weightages for stocks and sectors. And now you just copy all this stuff and just paste it. Everything will automatically be updated. So sub update ho gaya, everything is updated. Now this column actually calculates your profit and loss. If it's a loss, it will be in red. Conditional formatting is done. And whenever some stock is completely booked out, this total value and the average cost and the units, everything will kind of show 0. So I have also this actually calculates your total realized plus unrealized profit. But if you need a kind of a demarcation between the two, I have kept here that this is your realized profit and this is your unrealized profit or loss, net, you can say, right? This again gives you the weightages of all the stock. Now I just added a 6th stock, and I will just kind of put in 6 over here, and put in just copy paste this, and new weightages have come. This is because I have tried to keep these things aligned so that it is calculating the right weight and the right rank or the position. This gives you kind of a sector or the market cap allocation weightage. This gives you a sector allocation weightages. It's hugely kind of is invested into BFSI, because HDFC, ICICI, Lombard, everything is their bank Bs. Anyways, an XIRR, and this is the most important thing, his XIRR is 28.97. How is this being calculated? If you look at the formula, it takes into account the date of the investments and the date of the the investment value. Now this, keep in mind, this XIRR is not only for the current investment, but also for the historical. So it will also take into account the loss you made in Adani Greens, or the profit you made in Adani Ports, or the profit you made in Bank Bs, etc. Because obviously if you are doing a lot of positional trading, swing trading, you need to know end of the year XIRR or any period XIRR, not just your current holdings, because then it will give a very distorted picture. So this helps you to give the right XIRR for your investments. Just keep in mind that if you need to compare it with Nifty 50 or Nifty 500 or any other benchmark, you can create another sheet for the same dates which you have these investment. You can have Nifty's value as well, the benchmark values, but it will become very complex. I mean, if you want to do it, it can be done, but I think if the idea is that you still don't know your net worth, if you still don't know your portfolio allocation, asset allocation, I think that's the first step, and this sheet will help you to do that. I mean, if this is done, there is I have also added an instruction sheet. Whatever I've told in this video, you will find over here as well. In case you are unable to hear the video, you can just read it over here. And finally, this value is your current net worth, and I have kind of put in your I have brought in these weightages and all over here in the front, so that this is basically your most important stuff for your own portfolio. Whenever you are updating the sheet, just change this sheet manually. The date needs to be changed so that XIRR is correctly calculated. Otherwise, nothing major is the difference. Otherwise, if you can just change it to 19th November or whatever date, XIRR values might change. Rest of the things remain same. And just keep in mind to follow the methodology of format of month, date, and the year. So if there is any other doubt, you can post it in the comments below. I can individually answer you, or you can also put it in my email. I'll try to respond there as well. Follow this page, like this page, share it with whosoever needs it, and enjoy. Bye bye.